Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hopefully everyone of you is fine. Today we are going to start Python. In today's lesson we will see basic elements of Python. In the previous lessons I defined what is an algorithm. Algorithm is a sequence of commands in a controlled flow fashion. For example, in the previous lesson we saw an algorithm of finding the square root of a number. Here you had to start with a guess. This is the first step. Then the control goes to second step, which is you have to multiply g with itself, and if its answer is close to x, which is the number for which you are finding a square root, you have to stop. Otherwise you have to make a new guess using this expression. And using this gn, you have to repeat this process until gn into gn is close enough to x. This was an algorithm that we studied in the previous lesson. This is an algorithm and it is a sequence of steps, and they run in a controlled sequence. For example, this is the first step. You cannot run second step before this first step. Similarly, these steps can be executed multiple times depending upon the guess. Either it is close to x or not. Before starting today's lesson, I want to discuss an important concept with you. There are two kinds of programming languages. The one is known as interpreted programming language and the other one is known as compiled programming language. You may have listened C programming language. C programming language is low level language and it is a compiled language. In such a language you write a source code. In source code you write all the programming language instructions. You feed this source code to compiler. Compiler converts the source code into a machine code, and then machine code is translated by an interpreter and you get an output. These are the steps required in a compiled programming language like C programming. First you have to write a source code. Source code is compiled into a machine code, then machine code is interpreted by an interpreter and you get an output. Whereas in the interpreted language you only need an interpreter. You do not need a compiler. Its structure is very simple. You write a source code. This source code is interpreted and you get an output. So this is the structure of interpreted language, and Python is interpreted programming language. Now let us start Python. Python program is also known as script. It includes sequence of definitions or functions and sequence of commands. What are the functions? We will study them in great details. Let us know what is a command. Commands, also known as statements, are executed by the Python interpreter. It means in source code you have commands and definitions or functions which are executed by an interpreter and you get an output. For example, you write a command or statement print centro algorithmi. This is a statement calling Python built-in function print, and it will print centro algorithmi as an output. Another example of statement is 3 plus 2. It is a simple statement. It is also known as an expression, and its output will be 5. In Python, objects are core things. Each object has a type that determines what kind of operations or what kind of things you can do on an object. Objects can be scalar or non-scalar. You can think of a scalar object as indivisible object, whereas non-scalar objects have some kind of structures. For example, a string has a structure. we will see what are the strings. Scalar objects has 4 types, and I have just told you each object has a type, and type is very important because the type of an object tells us what kind of operations or what kind of things you can do on an object. The scalar objects has 4 types. The first is integer. You write it int. They represent integers. Similarly, if you want to represent real numbers in Python, you need a data type of an object as float. Float objects represent real numbers. Similarly, the bool object represents logical values either 0 or 1 or true or false, and the last kind is none. None means nothing. We will see its usage later. Another basic element of Python is operators. Operators of objects of type int and float are addition, subtraction, multiplication or product, integer division, remainder division. You pronounce it as mod. Similarly, this is the exponent or raised to the power. These are comparison operators. This is equal to, not equal, greater than, at least, or greater than equal to, less than, at most, or less than equal to. Operators on objects of kind bool are and, or, and not. These are logical gates. Objects and operators can be combined to form an expression. As I have told you, Python command or statement can be an expression. Here this 3 plus 2 is an expression. Now let us try these concepts in Python. In the previous lesson, which was about Anaconda installation, I have taught you how to install an Anaconda Navigator. This is Anaconda Navigator. Here you have to launch a spider. This is spider. Here you will do all the stuff. This is Python shell. This is an editor. We will later learn how to use this editor. Today I am going to use this Python console. So the first element of Python was a statement. Let us try our first statement, which is print commas, and whatever you will write inside commas will be printed as an output. After writing this command, you have to press enter, and this is your output. Here print is built-in function of Python programming language. Its input is central algorithm here. Inputs of a function are also known as arguments of a function. So here this print is a function and you have to provide it an input as an argument, and the argument is written inside commas for this function print. So this welcome is the argument of this print function. You have to press enter and it will be printed. Print function can also take more than one arguments. For example, this is a function. This is first argument, comma, sorry, this is single inverted comma, so here print is taking 2 arguments as in inputs, and each argument is separated by a comma. In this case, this print function or definition will print like this: welcome to central algorithm. Here you can observe that here print is printing each argument separated by a space, because there is no space here, space character here. So Python will automatically insert a space here. What if you insert space here, welcome to Centro Algorithmi, and if you press enter, you will observe that there are now two spaces between welcome and to. So you can also write like this, print Centro Algorithmi. Here this print function has only one argument, which is Centro Algorithmi. It can be anything like print, or you can print this sentence using this command. Here this print function is taking two arguments. Now the second thing we have learned is object types. This 3 is an integer object. If you type 6 and press enter, your output is 6. This 6 is of type integer or int, but here 5.23 is a real number and its type is float. Moreover, this true is an object and its type is bool. And finally, this is none and it is nothing. Because it is nothing, there is nothing at the output. There is another very useful built-in function in Python, which is type. It is a function. Its argument is an object. For example, I am giving it 7. 7 is an integer object. When you press enter, this function will return the type of an object which you are giving to this function type. So here 7 is an integer and this is your output, and this type function is telling you 7 is an integer object. Similarly, if you write minus 7.458, its type is float. You can also use this function for Boolean objects like false, false, and its type is bool. Finally, you can also check the type of none, which is none type. Now let us try some expressions. As I have mentioned, objects and operators can be combined to form an expression. So 3 plus 9 is an expression, and this is a command. If you press enter, the Python will give you an output and it will evaluate this expression and give you an output 12. Similarly, 3.1 is a float object and 1.1 is another float object. If you add them up, your result will also be of type float. But what if you try this expression? You have an integer 8 and you want to add in it a float object 5.33, 5.22, and its output is a float value. So when you try to evaluate an expression with two different objects, one is integer and other one is float, your result will be float. Now let us try some operators. For example, you have 8 and you do integer division by 4. What you will get is, you will get 2. This is an integer division. And if you try to divide it with 3, your result will be an integer 2. Actually, it is not equal to 2, but here you are doing integer division. If you want to get the result of 8 by 3, you have to do normal division and its result will be 2.666. It is a normal division, but here you are performing integer division. Its result will always be integer. You can also check it with this function type 8 integer division by 2. You can see its type is integer, but if you type 8 by 3, its type is float. Similarly, 8 modulo 2 equals 0. It is a remainder division. Similarly, 8 modulo 3 is 2. And if you want to find the 3 raised to power 2, it is 9. This is 3 raised to power 2. Similarly, 10 raised to power 3 is 1000. 10.5 raised to power 2.1 is equal to 139.473. It is a float data type. There are some comparison operators that returns Boolean object. For example, if you want to check whether 5 is equal to 2, which is actually not, it must return false, and yes, it is returning false. Is 5 greater than or equal to 2, it must return true. There are other comparison operators that you can test yourself. Now let us try to evaluate a Boolean expression. For example, 5 equals 2 and 5 greater than equal to 2. This is logical AND or AND gate between these two Boolean values, and its value must be false, because when either of the input is 0, the AND's output is false. It will be 1 or true whenever both its operands are true. Let us try this expression with OR gate, and here it must be true. Let us check. Yes, it is true, because in OR gate, if either of the input is 1, logic level 1 or true, the output is true. Okay, now let us learn some more basic elements of Python. In Python, a variable is just a name and it is nothing more. You must keep in mind, a variable in Python is just a name, it is nothing else. For example, you want to evaluate an expression which is 3.14 into 5 square. Actually, it is the area of a circle with radius r, or which is equal to 5. Here this 3.14 is an object of type float. This 5 is another object of type int. When you will evaluate or press enter after writing this expression, Python interpreter will return 78.5. Here again, this 78.5 is another object of type float. These are objects, but they do not have any name. They are nameless. So we can assign a name to this 78.5 in this way. We can proceed in another way. We can assign a name pi to this 3.14, and we can assign a name to this integer object 5 a name radius, and we can write our expression in terms of variables like this: area is equal to pi radius square. In this way, when the Python interpreter will evaluate this expression, this object will have a name area. Keep in mind, variable names are case sensitive. It means this area and this area with lowercase a are two different variable names. Next thing is, this assignment is known as assignment operator in Python. An assignment operator, whatever is present at the right side is first evaluated, and then the result or value of that expression that you are evaluating is assigned to the variable. Secondly, this assignment operator is different from comparison operator, which returns a logical value true or false. Programmers often do mistake in using assignment operator and comparison operator. Sometimes they use assignment operator instead of comparison operator. So you must be careful about it. One important thing is, you cannot use reserved words, which are sometimes called keywords, as a variable names. These reserved words are reserved by Python. You cannot use them as variable names. In the latest version of Python, which is Python 3, these are the reserved words. You cannot choose import as a variable name. Similarly, all these words are reserved words by Python. You cannot use them as variable names. If you will use them, you will get an error. Finally, you can use comments in your program to improve the readability of your code. In Python, you use this hash symbol. Everything following the hash symbol is not interpreted by Python. For example, if you put hash and write something like area of a circle, this comment will be ignored by Python interpreter. Now let us check these concepts. Here I have reopened Spider. Let's suppose we want to calculate the area of a circle with radius r or radius 5. Then what we have to do is, we have to write 3.14 into 5 square. These parentheses are emphasizing that this r square must be evaluated first, then this r square will be multiplied by pi 3.14. In Python, operators are usually evaluated with normal precedence. Now if we press enter, its value is 78.5. This 78.5 is an object of type float, and it is nameless. It doesn't have any name. Now let us use variables. Let's suppose our radius is equal to 5. Now if you press enter, this 5 object has a name radius. Now if you just enter radius, you will get its value 5. Similarly, you can define a variable pi equals 3.14 and press enter. This 3.4 float object has a name pi. Now if you press pi, enter pi, you will get its value. Now declaring area as pi into radius square, this expression will be evaluated and the result or value of this expression is assigned to this variable area. Now if you want to know its value, you have to press area. This 78.5, which was earlier nameless, now has a name, variable name area. Now let us try another example. Let's suppose you have a variable for equals 3. Now it is giving an error because this for is a reserved word. You cannot use it as a variable name. We have just seen another reserved word and if you assign it 5.3, it will again give you an error because this and is a reserved word. So let us try other names which are not reserved words. Let's suppose we have a length is equal to 55.12 and width is equal to 2.5, and if you want to calculate the area of rectangle, you have to multiply these two variables. Area of rectangle is 137.79. Now let us use comments. 55 equals 25 hash. This is comparison operator. Here you can see this comparison expression is evaluated, its value is false, and everything after hash operator is ignored. Similarly, you can test 5 greater than 2. Coding is fun. Its value is true, and this comment is ignored by Python interpreter. In Python, you can also do multiple assignments. For example, you have a variable x and y. You can assign them like 2 and 5. This is an example of multiple assignment. Here this x will have value 2 and y will have value 5. This multiple assignment is sometimes very helpful. If you want to swap the binding of these two variables, you can do like this. Now you have swapped the bindings. These are the bindings. 5 is linked to y and 2 is linked to x, and here you are swapping these bindings. So if you press enter, press x, you will get 5, which was initially 2, and if you press y, it has value 2, which was initially a value of x. So you can swap the bindings of these two variables or these two objects. This is end of today's lesson. If you have any question, please comment below and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.